Hello, I'm back. It has been 607 days today since we lost Johnny and Lucy, and it was just time for a check-in. It is 5:30 in the morning. I don't know how to sum up my life without the nitty-gritty details, but it's been a while since I made a video, and since the last video, I have had my house foreclosed on, lost my vehicle, sold everything I owned, moved in with my parents, and now I am back in my own house. Bare basics again, feel like I'm 18, starting all over again. Bought a little car in cash that's embarrassing to drive, but gets me from A to B. Have a job, a really good job, and starting to rebuild my life. And then about 3 days ago, I lost my shit again. It's been a few months. I cry all the time, but I don't go into non-functioning mode as much as maybe I used to in the first year. But I did. I went straight back there, straight back to non-functioning. I have not gotten out of this bed in 3 days. No food, just pounding, raging, pulsating headaches and eye aches, probably from all the crying, but I just totally got immobilized. And so I had to do some reflecting on my bereavement journey and where I'm at. And thought it might be a good time to make a video. So not quite 2 years yet, but I'm definitely still struggling. I'm finally in a place where I feel like I said, lost everything, and I'm slowly regaining some normalcy, and the last 3 days just made me feel like I was going to lose it all again. Just lose it. Lose my mind, lose my stability, lose my job, lose my relationships. I don't... Rough, going through a rough patch again. I've really been going through what is going to give my life some meaning. I think the losing a child gives you perspective, and having no meaning in your life is a very easy feeling. Without this thing to protect and look for, with this major tragedy, you lose the ability to see the positives. And I do still have positives in my life, my 2 boys. And I've really done them a disservice. I really realize that they're the forgotten ones. They're the ones that really have had a hard time, in addition to myself. Their mom checked out. Just checked out. Basic functioning. And I don't believe, feel comfortable sharing much grief with me out of fear of how I'm going to react or melt down or cry. And so I have one son that kind of is grieving much like I am, having a hard time functioning, basically. And I have another that I think is trying to just put it away and pretend like it doesn't exist as much so that he can function. Both coping mechanisms, but very different. I visited recently with another bereaved mom and got to sit in her son's room. Her situation was different in that she's still in the same house. Her son's room is just how he left it, dirty clothes still in the hamper. She's pretty much got the same time in as I do, maybe 2 more months, I think. And for the first time in a long time, I stopped thinking about myself and I spent time with her, and it was kind of fulfilling in a way. So I've really been thinking about and putting some energy into what can make my life feel worth living again. A job is great, and I'm thankful for it. But I need some fulfilling. I need to add something or replace something that gives me a purpose. And so I've really been thinking about putting together a nonprofit to do 2 things that are close to my heart. One would be to help support other bereaved parents in functionality. And the second would be to start a support group for siblings. It doesn't matter the age for either of these groups of people, because a child is a child, no matter if they're a day old or 60, and a sibling is a sibling, no matter if they were a baby or 60. So maybe your kids need support from both losing a sibling and having to deal with a bereaved parent. I've just been doing so much research, and the thought of putting together this nonprofit that are just so outstanding. Bereaved parents that loses a child under 18, their average lifespan is 50. Women have a 50% higher chance of breast cancer. Where there's been a suicide, there's a 50% chance of another suicide in the family. There are just these outstanding facts that are devastating. It doesn't stop with losing a child. It doesn't stop with losing a sibling. Some parents are able to regain functionality, and some parents are just comatose and unfunctionable for the rest of their lives. I'm going to say go crazy, but we go crazy. We have lost our minds. We really have. We really have. I think supporting bereaved parents, supporting other bereaved parents serves the purpose of helping both sides. We need meaning, and we also need help. So I'm really excited about the possibility of getting this together and seeing if it can play out and function. Putting together some resources. I have really experienced a loss of many, many things, and there are things that could have been helped. Losing my house, having utilities shut off, needing gas money, needing a meal, needing clothes washed, needing a shower, needing a massage, human touch, large for me. There are other parents that are needing help on the farm. There are elderly bereaved parents that counted on their children to take care of them, and they're not here anymore. There are parents that just need someone to talk to. there are fathers, and in my experience, I have not seen a whole lot of fathers in these bereavement support groups. And I get it. Like, men are supposed to be strong, and these fathers are broken. They're just broken. And I don't know if they get the sympathy that the moms do. I'm not sure. I would like to put some retreats together, maybe even on Christmas. Man, we had a really hard second Christmas this year. It's January now, so, within the last 3 weeks we did Christmas, and I would have really liked to just skipped it. I would have preferred to sleep all day. It's not the same anymore, and I don't think my boys cared. And my father's ill, and so it looks like this will be his last Christmas. And so I put on my big girl pants and played Christmas, but we only stayed at my parents' for a couple hours, and then my son and I came home and slept again. We watched some movies Christmas Eve and just cried together all night. And so, man, a year and 8 months later, and yeah, we cry a little less sometimes, and we function a little better. But man, we are not safe from being knocked off our feet at any point in time by any trigger. And it's almost like I can feel it coming. When you have a support animal and you have seizures and they can kind of warn you ahead of time, it's almost like this support feeling inside of me that warns me, like, man, something's coming. Something big is really coming. And it doesn't matter what time it is. It doesn't matter what part of the year, if it's the middle of your work week, if you're on a vacation, it can just hit you. And it's hard for people to watch. It's hard for people to be around because they see you kind of coming back. Kind of coming back, and then bam, you're down again. And I think some people are sympathetic to that, and I think other people are over it and over you and over us, and are like, still? Are we still dealing with this? And you're like, man, we're just getting started. We are just starting to heal. And it's just, it's frustrating. I still miss Lucy so much. I don't want to go through days without her and holidays without her. And I always know exactly what she would be saying in a certain situation, or be thinking. And she's never ever gonna be gone from me, but yet she's so gone. We live in this in between, this world where they'll never not exist, but a world that they don't exist in. Explain that one. Coping mechanisms. Man, we gotta be careful. It is easy for us to shut down, start drinking, do whatever it takes to numb it a little bit. I don't know, it's just, Every journey is so different, and the bottom line is we need support, and what better group of people to support us than other bereaved parents? Um, I think we will always be a source of uncomfortableness for people who haven't lost a child. They still don't know what to say to us. They still feel awkward around us, only when we put it away and pretend like it's not happening or it didn't happen. They get a glimpse of the old us back. Kind of thankful a little bit for new friends that I've made since she has passed. The people that didn't know me before, I think they don't struggle as much missing the old me. And there's very little people in my life still in comparison with who I had that are still around in a really supportive way. I'm so thankful for those people. But we're hard to be around. we're difficult. Yeah. So yeah, putting together some ideas. The research I've done and everybody heals differently. Everybody processes differently. Everybody has something that works, has something that doesn't. And I think the main thing that has been helpful to bereaved parents is service. And that's been the main concept that keeps coming back to me, is us being of service to others. And who would we want to serve more than other bereaved parents? Because sitting next to each other is priceless. Man, being able to call one of my fellow bereaved moms or Johnny's dad at any time and have any day and sob or be angry or share joy, there's no judgment, absolutely none. Even if it's not something they're into, they're just there and they understand that we gotta do what we gotta do. So I'm hoping that this idea of a nonprofit in support of others, there's a lot of groups, there's a lot of support groups. And so I'm not looking at starting a support group for bereaved parents. I want to actually provide physical and tangible assistance, whether that be stopping by and watching your kid's favorite show with you, whether that means stopping by and feeding your cows, or that means coming up with the money to pay your electric bill this month. There's no reason why, in the depths of the most excruciating, difficult time in our lives, we should also have to lose everything. And I mean lose everything. And it doesn't seem to matter to us because we already lost the most important thing, but it sure makes life difficult. It makes us feel like a burden and a failure, and just to lose all of our security and strength. And I think if we can just help each other hang on to some normal piece of our lives a little bit longer, that we will in turn come out to be able to be of service to somebody else. So I want to create something tangible, meals, like I said, financial assistance. Why are there not bereavement options available for mortgage companies, for rental assistance? I mean, I know that our country is struggling financially right now. Everybody's struggling. And these are the times when we really need the most help to hang on to what we have, what little we have left. So I want to create something that helps us to hang on a little bit longer. It is easy to feel hopeless and not want to be here. Suicidal ideation is a daily part of our existence. I don't care what you have to live for. You do not want to be here. And although I'm still here, doesn't mean I don't think about it all the time. And it's just something that we don't want to talk about. Anytime anybody mentions suicide these days, everybody's red flags go up and their mandatory reporting goes up. But it's not about us wanting to die. It's about us wanting to be reunited with our children. We were laughing the other day that a terminal cancer diagnosis would be about the happiest news that we could get. We wouldn't have to kill ourselves. We'd be like, oh, treatment? No, I think I'll pass. I will take that check right now and cash it. Couldn't think of anything more exciting. And that's a weird thing for people to hear and a weird place to be. But it's our reality. It would be so much easier just to be with our children again.